This video is going to give you a brief introduction to user management and roles, and then assigning roles to blocks. So first thing we do, let's say we just started from the home page. You access this information in admin and development. We have manage users and we have manage roles and permissions. So when I click on the users, we can see what roles they have, and it's also possible to disable users. And then we have what are called roles and permissions. A role is something that you decide within the company. So it could be like line supervisor. And then the permissions are a list of things in Blocworx that where a user can or can't do something. So the idea is that you can set permissions, you can add permissions to a role basically, and that way any user with that role can then do whatever these permissions are allowing it to do. Let's take a very basic example. So we have one here, can edit data inside a block. So what we're saying here is the line supervisor can edit data inside a block. And we're gonna, in our documentation, we have a full list of what each of these permissions can do. Okay, so the next thing we will do is we're going to add this role to a block. So we go to the simple inventory system and we'll say the livestock list and go to edit mode, and we'll scroll down until we find the roles. We are looking to make an improvement to the UX of this to be in order to navigate all these settings. But anyway, in this case, we're going to add the line supervisor to this block. This now means that anyone with the line supervisor role not only has access to this block, but can also edit records. And the next one we'll do is we'll create another role called operator. We won't give them any permissions. So let's go back to the simple inventory module. Let's say the operator can place orders. So we go to new order and we go to operator. And I'm going to add the line supervisor here as well, just so they can see the block. So now we've created two company roles. We've given permissions to the line supervisor. Next thing we need to do is add users who have those roles. So we'll just say line supervisor account and line supervisor account, just so we can remember it easily. The email address is insignificant for now, but I'll just put in the mailinator one. And the password, there is a requirement when setting up the password. It has to have two symbols, a number, an uppercase and a lowercase letter. So we'll just say pass 5577 and a pound sign and a percentage sign. Obviously not very secure, but that's just for the demo purposes. We'll hold on to that password. We'll hold on to this login as well. Now, this account at the moment doesn't have any role associated with it, so I'm going to give them the line supervisor role. User added. And we've just created our first user. And now I'll just do another one, employee account. Again, we're not going to use emails in this case, but we'll fill it out anyway. We'll use the same password. and we'll go manage roles, and they're just going to be an operator. We'll come back later to profile filtering. That's an important feature with regard to filtering data and being able to lock certain data out for certain people, but that's not the purpose of this video in this module. So I'm going to give them, they have the operator role. I'm going to press save. Now we're going to log out, and we're going to see how we get on logging in with both accounts. So first we'll do the line supervisor account. So I've now logged in. You'll notice they can't see anything else because that account hasn't been added to anything else. They can see their module, simple inventory, and they can see the 2 blocks that line supervisor was added to. When I go to new order, you can see that they can do everything. I can also see this, show edit links and data filtering. This allows me to do searches and filtering. We'll get into that in another video. And you can also edit the records. And that will be important if, for instance, they need to do an emergency fix inside the livestock and they need to edit something here. So they have access to this block. Next thing we'll do is log in as the operator, the normal employee account. So we go back here, employee account, and we'll use the same password. And they have that access to this module as well. However, they don't have access to the livestock list. And also, crucially, when they come to edit records, they don't have access to the edit button. They can do filtering, they can look up records, but they can't edit anything. So we'll just log back out and come back in as the admin. And we'll just quickly recap, and we'll just look at some of the permissions that are available. So this is top level, full administration and no code development. If someone has that permission, it means that they can literally do everything in the system, including even change modules and edit blocks and literally everything. Full administration only is slightly more limited insofar as they can only they have all access to all the permissions, but they can't access the development part of Blockworks. They can't create modules or edit blocks or edit pages. So there are some of the crucial ones. There's also ones that where you can manage roles and not just manage the users. And so the manage user roles, for instance, allows you to create these roles that I'm showing you here. You can change roles and permissions of users. This allows a user to change the permissions of another user, which is quite a powerful feature if you think about it. And for the rest of them, we'll have to dive deeper into more modules and more features before we look at all of these. A lot of them are to do with just showing and hiding stuff. Like for instance, that one you saw, can edit data inside a block, is quite a basic one. It's just hiding the ability for those kind of users to edit data. There's other things where you can hide the data altogether in a block, but then with this role, it can still see that data. And there's also other kind of data restrictions where you can stop data being loaded if it's not the user's own data. But again, this role can override that. So a lot of these permissions, sorry, not roles, can override restrictions, and that's kind of the main purpose of them. So I hope that's enough to at least get you started in the users and the roles and the permissions. Thank you. Bye bye.